Good afternoon. We'll now start. I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, your email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There'll be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk, so please show your faces in the video. A reminder after the pep talk, please take the online learning cum evaluation test exercise, or OLETE for short, for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like the one shown here. I have placed the link in the chat box. Another reminder, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Please turn on your video and please show your beautiful faces. Okay, get set. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I placed the link again to the Olete in the chat box. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower the lay people or patients to take control of the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021. During the COVID-19 pandemic, there are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. This particular box shows the component, the contents of the core course. And from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. May 18 this year, 2024, marks the start of year 4 of RO Hosan Pep Talk. How long the pep talk will last will depend on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. So my pep talk today is entitled Beware of New Year Eve's Health Dangers. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding of the so-called New Year Eve's health dangers in their health management. Malapit na ng mag-New Year, mga 10 days to go. The contents of this pep talk will be the following: definition of New Year's Eve, common health dangers during the New Year Eve celebration, prevention of common health dangers during the New Year Eve celebration, prevention of vehicular accident, which is related to alcohol intoxication, prevention of physical injuries from quarrels and disagreements related to alcoholic intoxication, and then prevention of the so-called abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome, prevention of heart syndrome, then prevention of firecracker and gunfire injuries, first aid management of firecracker injuries, prevention of burn injuries, and first aid management of burn injuries. I like to make a disclaimer that this pep talk contains my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations, which are culled from my personal experiences as well as from readings of the writings of other professionals. Let's start with the first topic, which is new definition of the New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve is the night of December 31 and the morning of January 1. In the New Year Eves, many people celebrate the end of the previous year and the beginning of a new year in various countless ways. These celebrations, if not done with caution, usually lead to various health dangers which are usually preventable. Common health dangers during the New Year's Eve celebrations are the following. In the Philippines, vehicular accidents related to alcoholic intoxication, physical injuries from quarrels and disagreements related to intoxications, and then abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome, heart syndrome and heart attacks, firecracker injuries, gunfire injuries, and burn injuries. So these are the more common health dangers during the New Year Eve celebrations in the Philippines. Okay. So the best way to prevent the common health dangers during New Year Eve celebration is to know what they are. Dapat malaman natin kung ano sila muna, and then try to know their usual causes and then how to prevent. Let's start with the prevention of vehicular accident related to alcoholic intoxication. The simplest is just to avoid alcoholic intoxication. So drink alcohol in moderation, or better still, wag na iinom. Abstain from alcohol. Just drink water. Water na lang, mas maganda. Wag na yung soda drink. Okay. Don't drive after drinking alcohol. Okay. Then, so beware of this danger, vehicular accidents secondary to alcohol intake. That's the most common cause of vehicular accident, alcohol intake during New Year Eve. Prevention of physical injuries from quarrels and disagreements related to alcohol intoxication again. Okay. So usually pag nalalasing, nag-aaway-away, kung ano-anong sinasabi, no? Okay. So avoid alcoholic intoxication, drink alcohol in moderation. Again, better still, abstain from alcohol. As I said, just drink water or buko juice. Okay. Don't quarrel after drinking alcohol. Don't inflict injuries during quarrel or disagreement. So beware of this danger, physical injuries from quarrels and disagreements secondary to alcohol intake. Then prevention of the so-called abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome, kasi marami tayong kinakain kung ano-ano. So there'll be a lot of different kinds of problems in the abdomen and the gastrointestinal tract. So when they say abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome, okay, I don't think you'll be seeing this in the internet. I just coined it myself, okay? But it refers to any abdominal discomfort and pain, okay? Abdomen means yung sa tiyan, no? Well, may discomfort and pain. And then with gastrointestinal symptoms, so meaning gastro means stomach, intestine, which can be large and small intestine. Ang mga examples of symptoms will be napapasuka at sumuka at diarrhea. Yan ang pinaka-common gastrointestinal symptoms aside from the pain sa abdomen. No? Madalas mangyari yan during the New Year's Eve. No? The syndrome is caused by food intake essentially. Okay? So in terms of amount, usually excessive, sobrang dami. Okay? Quality of food, baka mga spoiled na nakakain or too oily or not to, yung mga hindi na to tolerate ng mga yung ibang tao, mayroong mga specific pagkain na hindi na to tolerate at kinakain, hindi nila alam. Okay? So it may be caused by food poisoning, so spoiled food, food indigestion, food intolerance, an allergy also to the food that you take, and then gastroenteritis, and then pancreatitis is another possible cause. So prevention will be to avoid eating too much. So again, eat in moderation. So my suggestion is to concentrate on enjoying the taste of the food rather than on the quantity. So tikman-tikman na lang, yung enjoy na lang yung taste ng pagkain rather than on the quantity. Be careful with what you eat. So make sure that they are not spoiled. So So, importante hindi kayo lasing so that you can discern which foods are not spoiled. No? So, then not just try to avoid those food which you have not been tolerating before, and then those which you are not allergic to. So, avoid lang itong lahat so that you don't end up with abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome. The other danger is the prevention of heart syndrome and heart attack. Okay. So this is relatively new. No, before during my time as a student, I didn't hear of this, but in a 2018 study, okay, there's a report on the risk of heart attacks, okay, increasing significantly during the holidays, winter holidays season. So during a 15-year period, this was reported in the Swedish by the Swedish researchers. They discovered the chance of a heart attack were 15% higher than usual on Christmas Eve, then 37 on Christmas Eve, in 15% higher than usual than on Christmas, and then I think Christmas season, and then 37 on specific Christmas Eve, and then 20% higher on New Year's Day. So mukhang mas maraming celebration during the Christmas Eve kaysa New Year's Day. No? So 20% lang sa New Year's Eve. So what is a holiday heart syndrome? Holiday heart syndrome occurs when patients develop an abnormal heart rhythm called atrial fib, yung di regular ang tibok-tibok ng puso, no? Okay. So it's atrial fib is a rhythm disorder of the upper chambers of the heart, during which time the upper chambers lose the mechanical functions and does not contract. Yeah, meron kang discrepancy sa mga sa rhythm of the heart, of the beat of the heart. Okay. So what causes holiday heart syndrome? The doctors abroad coined the term after noticing an increase in instances of this syndrome, and this is usually related to the heavy holiday drinking. Okay, yan ang pinaka-most common cause. Maraming iniinom during the celebration of the Christmas as well as the New Year's Eve, of the Christmas, New Year's Eve, yeah. So alcohol can trigger episodes of atrial fib, an irregular heartbeat. It is important to note that holiday heart syndrome is one specific condition linked to heavy drinker. Okay, it's just one. However, there are other factors that can cause this heart-related concern. So isa lang yung alcohol drinking na nagkakos ng holiday heart syndrome. There are other causes, pero ito ang pinaka most common cause. Okay. So ano other causes of the holiday heart syndrome? Emotional stress. So unfortunately, holiday season can be a source of stress due to family gatherings and or financial pressures. So spending a lot with gift and with travel expenses, it can sometimes cause uh, mental distress. Other causes will be the overindulgence, resulting for poor eating habit and then high salt intake, okay, during this time, which can exacerbate the chronic heart condition. Yung pasyente na meron ng dating may heart problem, it can exacerbate it, no? Mapapalala, okay? So this can lead to heart failure and chronic high blood pressure, okay? So mga dating may sakit sa heart, kung kumakain ka pa nag-overindulge ka sa mga pagkain, especially high salt intake, so this can trigger the pinaka-main attack. Delayed treatment. No? So during this time, baka nadidelay yung pagkagamot, pagka-consult sa doktor. So delay in seeking treatment during the holidays may also play a part in the prevalence of cardiac events. Kasi Pasko na, so sabi nila, saka na lang, okay? So what are some tips to reduce the holiday heart syndrome? It's expected to enjoy the holiday with food, family, fun. But just don't overdo it. Pwedeng gawin yung enjoyment, wala natin may iwasan. Mag-enjoy tayo during the holidays with food, family, and fun, but don't overdo it. So wag iinom masyadong marami, don't binge drink, especially the alcohol. Avoid too much caffeine, and then watch your salt intake. And then, of course, during the holidays, still continue to do your exercise, your regular exercise. Everyone should be mindful of alcohol consumption and general indulgence of food drinks during the holidays, whether or not they have a pre-existing heart disease or a family history of a heart disease. So especially for those with a heart disease and family history of heart disease, pero even those without a previous heart disease, wag lang mag overindulgence sa alcohol as well as mga pagkain. No? Okay. So, this is a happy celebration. So, take note, huwag lang overeating, masyadong marami. Basta kung may ano, hati-hati na lang. Okay? Now, let's go to the next topic, prevention of firecracker and gunfire injuries. There are usually three types of fire injuries related to noise-making celebration during the New Year's Eve. So, gumagawa tayo ng noise to celebrate the New Year's Eve, but so we ended up with a lot of yung mga noise-producing mechanism na nagkakause ng fire injuries. So, these are firecracker injuries per se, Labintador, whatever, injuries from the indiscriminate use of firing of guns, which is still common in the Philippines, and also house fires. Okay, so these are the three types of fire injuries during the New Year's Eve. So, there is a survey by the Bureau of Fire Protection, no? So December 2021 to January 2022. At that time, ang number 4 cause of the fire during that time was ignition caused by fireworks and pyrotechnics explosion, and then this one caused by firecrackers explosion. No? In 2022 to 2023, so last year, okay, ang number 1 na with cause of the fires, ignition caused by fireworks and pyrotechnics explosion. And then number 3 yun, caused by the fireworks explosions. So the other causes are mga electrical problems sa house, no? Ganon. And then smoking, lighted cigarette in the house probably, no? Okay. So take note of that. So prevention of house fires. Okay. So usually yung mga house fires are coming from ignition of fireworks and firecrackers, no? Okay. Pwede din yung mga sigarilyo, yung mga ganon, no? So avoid direct contact with ignition from fireworks and firecrackers. Then yung mga we know that a lot of firecrackers, fireworks are going to the sky, and then when they fall, kumisan tumatama sa roof, no? And then may nasusunog na bahay, no? So those roof which are flammable, made up of flammable materials, take note, no? So you just water the roof kung pwede, kung aabutin, no? Kung hindi, babantayin na maigi, no? During the New Year's Eve, no? Okay. The Bureau of Fire Prevention has consistently advised the public to exercise caution and adhere to the following preventive safety measures to avert fires during the New Year festivities. Number 1, always attend to lighted candles. Do not leave them burning without supervision. Stay vigilant when cooking and never leave it unmonitored. Refrain from incinerating wrapping papers, cartoons, and other rubbish in the fireplace. And inspect your electrical cords for any signs of wear and tear, and ensure the plugs are secure. And then disconnect electrical devices when planning to go away from home, to be away from home, especially those for yung mga nag-out of town holidays. Avoid overburdening your house electrical system, yung mga octopus. And then do not smoke indoors. Regularly perform maintenance check on your gas tank. Baka may nagli-leak doon. No? So these are some of the advices of the advice of the Bureau of Fire Protection. Now, for the gunfire injuries, although forbidden, may mga laws yan, di ba? Mga legal, So up to the present time, there are still a lot of people who have guns who fire to the sky as part of the celebration of the new year. So the falling back of the fired bullet from the sky into the ground is the main cause of the gunfire injuries during New Year's Eve. No? To prevent injuries from this indiscriminate firing of guns into the sky, okay, in and around New Year's Eve, just stay indoor with sturdy roofs. So you cannot, although there's an ordinance for prohibiting that, meron pa rin gumagawa. So you just, to play safe, you just stay indoor during, especially yung mga few hours before 12 o'clock, midnight sa December 31. In the Philippines, December has been declared as a firecracker injury prevention month since time immemorial kasi maraming nasasaktan, maraming na-injured. So every December, there is an anti-firecracker campaign to reduce the injuries caused by the use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices during the holiday seasons. So up to now, there is still it's December is still labeled has been declared as a firecracker injury prevention month up to now. Okay. As a surgical resident in the Philippine General Hospital from 1976 to 1981, I had this gruesome experience of seeing and treating patients with firecracker injuries every year end. Sa PGH, every New Year's Eve, sa Christmas pa lang, marami nang nasasaktan sa mga firecrackers injuries. So I always ask myself, out of frustration, when will they ever learn? So in 2024, when I was the chairperson of the Department of Surgery in the Hospital of Manila, I launched a campaign to prevent unnecessary firecracker injuries in the city of Manila. I wrote a letter to the then Mayor Atienza requesting for help to have an ordinance promulgated by the City of Manila Council banning the use of firecrackers by the public in the territory of the City of Manila during every New Year celebration starting 2024. I thought such a kind of ordinance was the most effective way of reducing, if not totally eliminating, the incidence of firecracker-related injuries in the City of Manila. At this time, the Davao City has already an ordinance ban on firecrackers, and this was effective. Unfortunately, there was no response to my letter from the City Hall. So walang nangyari. No? So in December 10, after the first week of 2011, I decided to put up a website entitled Unwanted Firecracker Injuries to maintain my advocacy against firecracker injuries. So the only thing that I can do now is to just keep on reminding people on the risk of firecracker injuries and appeal to them to avoid, which I'm doing now with this lecture. So up to now, 2024, ina-advocate ko. I make sure that I have a reminder to my patients, to the public, on avoidance of the firecracker injuries. But fortunately, as years go by, more cities have passed ordinances on firecracker bans. Examples, aside from Davao, Zamboanga, Baguio, and Muntinlupa, have already some ban on the firecrackers. Okay. So in 2017, former President Rodrigo Duterte issued an executive order number 28 providing the regulation and control of the use of firecracker and our other pyrotechnic devices. So the EO says limits the use of firecrackers to community display, to which I agree, community na lang, to minimize the risk of injuries and casualties. The use of firecrackers should be henceforth be confined to community fireworks displays. So the EO, executive order, has reduced significantly the number, pero meron pa rin up to now. Okay, as of last year, meron pa rin. So firecracker and fireworks, no doubt, will be present in our midst because of the tradition. They will never be completely eliminated as they will continue to be used for celebrating milestones and occasions. But I hope they can just be handled by expert people who can do the community firework display. So to avoid the unnecessary firecracker injuries, my recommendation is that firecrackers be sold to and used only by people trained and authorized to do fireworks during special occasions and in safe places. And the rest of the citizenry should just watch and enjoy the fireworks at a safe place and be protected from firecrackers injuries. Ito yung campaign of the Department of Health and the government. Okay. So, Oplan Iwas Paputok. Okay. Oplan Firework Display. Okay. So, these are the ones minimizing the firecracker injuries. No? Okay. So, ito, sometimes up to now, we still see some of this one, yung mga, this, yung mga nasusunog na kamay, napuputol na kamay, gano'n, na? Okay, even sa mukha, meron din, na? Now, let's go to the first aid management of firecracker injuries. As I said, meron pa yan dyan up to now, despite the ban. So, once you have a firecracker injuries, or somebody has firecracker injuries, i-advise na lang ninyo, wash copiously with soap and water right away. Okay. Kahit na soap and water lang, pwede na. Okay? That's right away, ha? Importante yon, na? So, it's applicable to all parts of the body injured, kahit saan. Basta linisin lang maigin with soap and water. And then, if there's malakas ang may bleeding, no? Just control that bleeding by applying pressure using wala kayong panyo, walang bandages, no, walang tela, you just use a clean hand, no? Kung malakas na yung bleeding, no? Kung mahina ang bleeding, just try your best to get a clean handkerchiefs, no, clean clothes, and then apply pressure. Now, if the firecracker injuries are severe, so you have to bring the patient to the emergency room already of a particular hospital, the nearby hospital. Then take pain medication as needed, such as paracetamol and NSAID. NSAID example will be mefenamic acid. No? Then antibiotics and anti-tetanus injections may be prescribed by the physicians as indicated. Let the physician decides on this. No? Okay. When to take the antibiotics and when to have the anti-tetanus injections. So because not all firecracker injuries will need antibiotics and anti-tetanus injections. So it all depends on the severity of the injuries. Now, prevention of burn injuries. There are 4 common causes of burn injuries everywhere. In the Philippines, ganun din. Smoke inhalation, thermal contact, electrical equipment, and then chemicals. So, but my focus for discussion today will be those burns caused by the thermal contact. Now, I want to discuss smoke inhalation, electrical equipment, and chemicals. So those caused by thermal contact will be fire, apoy, and then hot liquids, yung nakakapaso na yung mga boiling water, ganon, contact with hot surfaces. So prevention is basically avoidance of contact with this fire, hot liquids, hot surfaces. Be mindful and vigilant against this risk. Then first aid management of burn injuries. Okay. Depending sa degree, burns are classified into various ways: superficial, partial, deep, partial, full. Then sometimes they call it first, second, third. Okay. Then in terms of specific involvement of the parts of the body, sa mga medical world field, they call it burns of the epidermis, kung sa first degree or superficial lang. Okay. In which you have pain, redness, and mild swelling. Kung mas malalim na, yung dermis na, okay, you now have blisters. Yung may magtutubig, no? Mas intense ang swelling. And then kung mas malalim pa, nagiging parang leather na yung maputi na leather yung balat, no? Okay. Pag mas malalim pa, yung talagang sunog na ng plaque na lumalabas, no? Okay. So this is a further illustration. First degree burns, usually superficial, mababaw lang. At partial, medyo malalim ng konti. Yung full thickness hanggang sa yung sa taba hanggang muscles na yun, no? Ganun, ito yung another illustration. Okay, first degree burn, dito lang, mababaw. Okay, second degree there, burns a little deeper. Okay, hanggang dermis na. And then, third degree, maabot na rito, no? Okay, mas malalim, no? So these are example. Pag ganun lang ang burns, no, halos walang namumula lang, this can be labeled as first degree burn. Pag may blisters na, automatically second degree burn na yon, second degree. Third degree, mas malalim pa yon, no? Okay. Now, ang guide, yung mga burns naman, ang requirements for patients to receive fluid, yung mga swero, fluid kasi pag nababurn ang isang tao, yung mga fluid ay lumalabas dun sa balat, so nauubusan ng tubig, so kailangang i-replace. So we have used this as a guide. Any patient with greater than 15% total body surface area, yung mga non-superficial burns should receive formal fluid resuscitation. When you say formal fluid resuscitation, usually swero yon, no? Okay. So we have a rule of 9, may mga chart yon, which is not easy to memorize. We just to look at the internet kung ilan as a guide, or when you are in the emergency room, alam naman ninyo, usually may mga chart dun sa emergency room. Now, a simplest way to determine the size rather than the rule of 9, kasi mahirap matandaan yung rule of 9, you can use yung palm technique, palmar method. Ito, okay, okay. Yung patient's palm, yung palm ng pasyente yung gagamitin, ha? Hindi kayo, hindi ano, no? So, yung pasyente, palm of the patient to measure the body surface burn. So, the palm of the patient, okay, hindi kasama yung fingers and wrist. Ito lang, the palm lang, ha? Is about 1% body surface area. Kung tatlo niyan, 3%. Kung apat na yan, kung 9 yan, na an area, 9% na yan. Kung 15, di 15%. No? So, mas madaling tandaan nito. Use the palm. Huwag lang isasama yung fingers, hindi kasama. No? Now, first aid management of burn injuries, right away, wash with soap and water, or sa umpisa, put your burn areas under running water, okay, for 20 minutes, no? And then you can use soap now to wash it, no? Okay. Use soap, wash with soap and water, okay? Okay. Then the use and non-use of antibiotics in burns. First degree burns, you don't need antibiotics. Okay. Second degree burns is usually yung mga superficial one. No antibiotics muna, but you can give antibiotics when you have observed that may infection na nagde-develop. So then that's the time you give the antibiotics. Now, for second degree burns na malalim, saka third degree burns, antibiotics are usually given. No? Ito yung mga samples ng mga topical antibiotics that you see that nabibili sa over-the-counter, bacitracin, polysporin, and neosporin. No? Now, those which need prescriptions are this one, puracin, silver diazine. No? So pag superficial burns, no need for antibiotics. Pag mas malalim, you may give antibiotics. No? Number one, you give antibiotics pag meron may infection, lumalabas na in signs. Then after that, just protect the wound with a cloth. No, there are times in which you just leave it open as long as you have to keep on cleaning the wound every so often. Mas common, no? Okay. Use of analgesics, yung mga painkiller, as needed again. Kung tolerable lang pain, there's no need. Kung yung may pain na hindi na ma-tolerate, then you take the oral analgesics. No? So options will depend on the degree of pain. Kung mahina lang, kung mild lang, na hindi na to-tolerate, pero mild lang ang pain, you can take paracetamol. Kung medyo hindi kaya ng paracetamol, then you can go to NSAID, ng mga mefenamic. Ganon, no? And then kung talagang severe burn na, talagang masakit na masakit, you need the doctor's prescription now for the mga morphines, o mga mas malakas like Tramal, no? Ganon. Okay. Okay. So again, this is a chart that summarizes the first aid management. I like to put a emphasis on this one. Don't apply ice. Okay. I have committed the same mistake before, but it has been shown that putting ice after a burn will compromise the yung blood supply to the burn area. So it will impede healing. So wag natin lalagay ice. Just put the burn area under running water for 20 minutes. Pwede na, no? Okay. Then don't apply toothpaste. Marami pa rin ako nakikita mga the public na using toothpaste to put on the burns. Okay? Pag may blister, may tubig-tubig, don't burst it. No? Pag binurse mo, number one, mas masakit kasi hindi na protect yung wound, walang cover. Number two, mas madaling mag-infection. No? Okay. So again, don't apply home remedies like egg, oil, butter. Okay. Ito lang nakikita ko palagi, toothpaste. The others, I have heard of it, baka meron din gumagawa nito. Naglagay sila ng oil, no, butter, and eggs, no? So you don't need all these things because it will cause more infection. Okay, so that's the end of my pet talk today. I have discussed the following definition of New Year's Eve, common health concern, dangers, prevention of vehicular accident, prevention of physical injuries, prevention of abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome, heart syndrome, firecracker, gunfire injuries, management, first aid management of firecracker injuries, prevention of burn injuries, first aid management of burn injuries. Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment, we always be in touch with reliable medical information on New Year's Eve health dangers. Knowledge is power, it gives power, use the 4Ks of patient empowerment, kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on New Year Eve's health dangers in your health management. So with that, I end my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding of the New Year Eve's health danger in their health management. So this is about 10 days to go. Okay. So 21 na ngayon. So sa 31, ingat lang po tayo. Na? Okay. So reminder, after the pep talk, please take the Olete. Okay. I have placed the link in the chat box already. Then obtaining 25 Olete certificate will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a R.O. Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA and interactions. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the floor is now open for questions, comments, no? And sharing of experiences or any things that you want to add. No? Do you still want to add some more health dangers that you know of? Meron pa kayo naiisip sa Philippine setting? Wala na? Na-cover ko na ba lahat?
I think so. No. And
Okay.
thank you. I'd like to thank you for the reminders. I mean, these are it's really something that we have heard before, but keep on forgetting.
Yeah.
Matigas ulo talaga ng Pilipino. But thank you. Very good reminders.
Yeah.
And makes sense. I didn't know that it was Duterte who who was trying to who banned the ano who
In
first had
Davao.
that idea, Davao. Oo.
He started it in Davao, and then uh, when he was the president, he put a EO, but they have not made it a law.
Oo.
Kaya,
Well,
kaya may maraming injuries pa rin up to now. No? Okay.
yeah.
Pero nabawasan na, I suppose nabawasan na. Okay.
Yes.
Kaya yung mga kami,
Thank you again.
when we, when I was a resident, we're not allowed to go home on December 31 because of that particular, marami kasing injuries from firecracker.
Mm.
No? Kaya ngayon, mas magaan na yung mga nagduduty sa mga government hospitals on December 31. No?
At least he had one accomplishment.
Okay. Okay. Any more comments? Any contributions? Okay. So anong gagawin niyo this New Year's Eve? Paano kayo magsa-celebrate? Kakanta na lang. Karaoke na lang. Donna, Donna, kakanta ka na lang. Okay. So beware yung pagkain, ha? I think more common problem is sa pagkain, no? So control the diet. Ako rin minsan hindi ko makontrol eh, no? Pero I try my best to make ano, to control my diet. Tikim-tikim na lang. Any more input? I suppose nobody's firing fire guns dito, no? Wala. So, okay? Wala na? So make sure that wala kayong mga sakit during on January 1, ha? Huwag niyo ako tatawagan. So abdominal pain, no, okay. And then again yung ice, ha? Huwag niyong maglalagay kayo ng ice kasi that's a mistake pala. Now you don't put ice. I have committed the same mistake. Ang first reflex, impulse ko is to put ice. No. Okay. So just put the burn area in running water sa tap water, pwede na. No?
Kaya pala,
Ah, ano
kaya
doon?
pala lumulunggo yung paso ko, Dok. Kasi
Lumob?
dinidiretso ko sa freezer. So, sobrang hapde. Ngayon ko lang yung nalaman, Dok. Ayan,
Nilagay mo
Dok, oh. Nilagyan ko ng ice kasi sobrang hapde. Nangitim. Nagano siya. Yung parang nagtubig.
aha.
Ano,
Kailan? Kailan ka napasok?
ano, Dok, nagpiprito po ako ng bangus. Tumalsik yung mantika.
Oo.
Sobrang hapde siya, Dok. Parang nalusaw yung balat ko.
Okay.
Nilagyan ko agad ng ice. Kasi parang yung mukha ko sobrang sakit.
Okay.
Ayun. Tapos toothpaste.
Ah, okay. Sinong gumagamit narinig ko na yung toothpaste. Sinong gumagamit ng egg? May gumagamit
Ay,
ng egg dati sa
malangsa
inyo?
yun eh.
Ha?
Malangsa yung egg.
Butter? Ang naririnig ko sa Philippines, toothpaste yung ginagamit. I don't know kung gumagamit kayo ng ibang And then, a common problem is antibiotics. Yung lalagay kagad kayo ng mga topical antibiotics, di ba?
Yeah.
So, hindi kailangan. Basta kung superficial lang, just clean it, soap it in water lang every
Just
day.
soap and water lang.
Yeah, soap and water, eventually it will heal. No? Mas mabilis pa, no? Ang healing nun. Basta clean it with soap and water, mas mabilis. No? Kasi wag niyo lalagyan ng betadine din, ha? Yung mga burn injuries. Kasi mga may chemicals yan, it will kill some of the normal cells, no? Oh,
Mm.
okay. Soap and water lang pwede na, no? Okay?
Thank you so much, Doc.
You're welcome. So I hope you don't suffer any of the danger that I mentioned about dito sa lecture, especially yung stomach pain. Yan ang I think that will be the most common, no? Okay. So, kung wala na, we'll call it a day. We'll resume the pep talk sa January, first week of January na. No? Okay.
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 So, I'd like to greet everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to
Thank you,
everybody.
Doc.
Thank
Christmas
you.
po.
Happy New Year.
Salamat
Happy
po.
New Year.
Happy
See.
holidays, Doc
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Nice.
you. Okay.
Okay. See
Bye-bye.
you next year.
See you next year. Bye-bye.